First of all, I'm no Superman. I'm just a regular guy that went to a public school and was brought up by his mother after my father left us when I was 12. I didn't have any more abilities or resources than the average person, and I don't have a university degree. In fact, I dropped out of high school in year 11. In this video, I'd like to share my story with you. My journey begins back when I was in my teens and started to build my own computer company from inside my mum's house. I called it Cam1 Computer Wholesale. By the time I was 24, I had a very successful and established company with its own commercial premises, supplying companies like BHP, CSIRO, University of New South Wales, and others. Basically, I got married. I had 2 boys, continued to grow and prosper. We built a brand new 6,500 square foot luxury home, complete with in-ground pool, home gym, triple car garage, more rooms than any small family can shake a stick at. We had a luxury boat worth $250,000, a $200,000 sports car, the latest flashy 4-wheel drive for my wife, and frequent luxury holidays overseas where we all flew business class. I also had a portfolio of investment properties. We had all the stuff and we were living the good life. Well, at least on the outside we were. Of course, appearances can be deceptive, and there was an undercurrent that we'd basically been picking up speed and momentum for quite some time. I worked long hours, I didn't see my wife and children a great deal, and it began to take its toll. In addition, the recession kicked in. My wife and I separated and then ultimately divorced. The recession took its toll and I got left with a 6-digit tax bill. I lost it all. It was a very painful time of my life. I went from having it all to having nothing at all. I sat in a small apartment on my own. Most nights, I was lying there missing my family terribly and wondering where it all went wrong. All that hard work, and now I had nothing to show for it. And my life was literally torn apart. My lofty dreams of living the happily ever after life basically were crushed. Seeing my family every day in the morning was replaced with waking up alone. I was lower than low. I never experienced such a profound sense of loss ever in my life before, basically emotionally, financially, and even spiritually. Eventually, I was able to put myself back together again. I started searching in earnest, searching deeply for a new business model, one that would not involve me exchanging time for money again like I had been while running my computer company. So although it was very successful, I did spend long hours at work, and as a result it took its toll not only on my marriage but on my own happiness and sense of fulfillment. I didn't want to repeat those same mistakes again. I searched the world quite literally and found a really promising business model that I could replicate. It ticked all the boxes, so I started to rebuild, not just financially either. I started dating and I fell in love again. I met my new wife Nicole and we started this journey together. My searching for a viable business model was not time wasted. I started selling online using eBay as a platform, just testing the waters at first. Nicole was in hospital, giving birth to our first daughter while I packed boxes on the floor in our modest townhouse. Our business really started to grow. Out of the blue, I got a call from our eBay rep announcing me one of the top eBay sellers in Australia. And what I did was talk on behalf of eBay at the Professional eBay Sellers Alliance in Melbourne. I was pretty chuffed and flattered, and of course I said yes. So I continued studying this stuff until I had it basically down to a science. It didn't happen overnight though, but it got to the point where I was getting noticed by others, as well as we were turning over in excess of 7 figures annually. We were the first multi-million-dollar seller for Channel Advisor Australia, and one of the very first eBay sellers asked to beta test the new eParcel system for Australia Post. Shortly after, I started selling Amazon in the US and Europe, and that success got noticed by Amazon, and in 2015 I got a call from them saying they were thinking of opening in Australia, and would I consider being the guest speaker for an Australia-wide roadshow. I did say yes and enjoyed teaching and encouraging others to also sell on Amazon, and I also got to share my own story. Fast forward to today. Now my life looks completely different to what it did back when I lost it all. I did rebuild my life, I did find love again, and we've been happily married together now for over 14 years. I have 2 beautiful daughters, to add to my 2 wonderful boys. We left Sydney behind more than 5 years ago to pursue our dream of living life in the country. We fulfilled our dream and so much more. Our girls go to a fantastic private school overlooking green hills, cows and horses. We don't get dressed up in fancy business attire in the morning to then sit in agonising traffic for an hour or more. And there's no traffic to speak of here. In the closest town we have, or we live next to, it's only got one traffic light. We operate our business from our home and we work the hours that we want to work. We've got no staff or inventory in the house. All our staff work for us remotely. If it's a beautiful day, we go for a walk together in the afternoon. Also, girls, they're at school. I never got to see my boys very much when I was first married, because by the time I got home from work, they were already in bed. That was a mistake that I didn't want to repeat. And now with my new business model, I get to walk to the end of the hour-long driveway and meet my girls when they get off the bus. I also drive them to the bus stop in the mornings on my quad bike, and they still get a kick out of that. When I go to the office, I can wear my boxer shorts if I so desire. Of course, living in the country, it's not for everyone, but some people love the city, and that's also awesome. Some people may want to see change, a tree change, or just a change. What we all want, though, is a fulfilling life where we can be happy and pursue our dreams. My journey really helped me to get an insight into what it's like to be a single parent, a divorced dad, what it's like to be financially at rock bottom, and just be thoroughly frustrated with wanting more out of life. When I was at rock bottom, I found it really hard to get help. I promised myself that if and when I got my life back on track, I would do my little bit to help others get their life back on track. So I started teaching other people how they could also leave the workforce and work from home to spend more time with their family. So they could also be there to see their children off to school and be there to greet them when they came home. Or whatever their dreams of fulfillment and happiness basically entail. I really discovered a passion for helping others in a similar situation, which is a lot of people. Now I'm the host and founder of the 4 largest eBay Amazon meetup groups in Australia. I share my free own strategies and gold nuggets in how I systemise and scale my online businesses. We currently have over 5,000 members. I'm an invited guest speaker by eBay, Amazon, Channel 9 and others. I'm also the author of bestseller $1 Million eBay Business from Home. One of my students, Sean, left his job in Sydney, Australia. Now he roams the world whilst operating his eBay business, and he's begun branching out now into Amazon. When we talk, he's sometimes in Thailand, sometimes in India. Last time we spoke was in Cambodia. All the time, still running his business remotely. Now that my student, John, left his corporate job, is now there to take his children to and from school and make dinner for his family. He said his wife hasn't cooked or shopped for over 6 months. He thoroughly enjoys being there for his family. He spends a scant amount of time each week monitoring his business. That's the beauty of this. I teach others how to put in systems that allow them to work on their businesses, not in their businesses. I teach them how to outsource nearly all computer-related tasks, how to optimise and then scale, how to generate sales with no capital and as little as $100 initial investment. Collectively, my students have sold over $1 billion on eBay and Amazon and their own websites. My name's Neil Waterhouse, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to my story. If you liked it and it resonates with you or encouraged you in any way, then you're going to absolutely love the free training that I've prepared for you, where I'm going to teach you how to start your own successful online business from scratch with less than $100. I've put a lot of time and effort into this free training, and I'd hate for you to miss out. So go ahead and click the link, and I'll get you started straight away.